What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. As you see, we are all sitting around this table, and this is not a normal one, because in this episode, we're going to be talking about what's coming up in 2025. All right, well, before we get into 2025, let's wrap up 2024 and talk about our favorite builds from the year. So Dave, starting with you, buddy.
All right. Well, I really enjoyed the purple Mercedes. One of my favorite parts of building Mercedes was the exhaust system. It's a long, tedious process for sure to like get it right or get it how you want it. But once you're sort of in the middle of the process and you can see like your vision is going to work out the way that you want it to, then it gets exciting and you just want to.
Yeah, and that was Dave's first set of headers he built on that car.
Yep, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Full exhaust system, all the way from the headers all the way to the tailpipe.
Yep.
Sounds good too.
Yeah.
Oh man, my favorite build from this year. They're all my favorite builds, honestly, because I
When
feel
they're done?
yeah, obviously when they're completed and they drive out the door and we get paid, that's the best part. No, but really being lucky enough to be able to work on these cars every day is real. I'm feeling lucky to do. You know, building custom cars is a luxury. It's not like everybody needs one of these. So I think, you know, I'm pretty lucky to be able to do this every day. So they're all really my favorite.
You guys heard that. He feels lucky. I think he should start paying me. My favorite build this year, which we started and kind of finished last year, but finished it up this year, was Dimebag. I had a blast building it. The owner, you know, became a really good friend of mine. So good that we're actually building another truck for him, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But my favorite part of Dimebag, I'd have to say, is the wood bed. It was very custom. It was very time consuming and tedious, but I think it came out real sweet. It's one of a kind, that's for sure. We knocked it out the park. It's actually gonna be on the front cover of this month's CK Truck magazine. So still a lot of exciting things going on with Dimebag. And then Brady, I know you've kind of stepped in here halfway through the year and didn't really get to build all that much, but you've had your hand on quite a couple builds.
I'd say my favorite build had to be the 69 Charger. And I thought the biggest challenge was making sure that that blower would fit, the hood would fit to the blower. I think our biggest fear was concerned that we would have to chop the hood. So we got away with that and made it look clean. You know, 50% of it was research, you know, trying to figure out from old drawings to what the previous builder did and how we correct certain issues.
All right, well, not every build we do here is gonna be our favorite, but there may be a particular task that we did within that build that really stood out to us as something that we enjoyed. So Dave, how about you, buddy?
Well, I think one thing that was challenging, but learned a lot during it, was making those closed-out panels for under Dimebag. So it was a lot of tight tolerances in a lot of different places, and you're thinking about everything when you start something.
Yeah.
And you try and take everything into account. And you're like, oh, I got this.
And then you go to put the hood on.
Right. Yeah. And you're like, oh, wait, the hood actually wasn't fully aligned before when I built this. So now that we aligned it, now it slightly touches something else.
Yeah.
Also just, you know, like multi-piece things that have to go together in a certain way.
Gotta look at the big picture.
Right. And you gotta like see the order of operate, like how is this gonna go in at the end once the parts are like fully
Right.
painted, and how can you connect things without some hardware, that sort of thing. So it was a big challenge, but a big learning experience.
I'd say with all going back to the Charger and along with the Dimebag, like Dave said, that was the biggest issue with, you know, all those insert panels, doing the hood alignments, the fender alignments, making sure it all jogs together. Definitely learned a lot about it with some more of these intricate cars and vehicles we deal with. I'm used to working on heavy fleet and trucks. Like you said, it's kind of looking at the bigger picture, sort of the, you know, form over function. It all has to kind of work at the same time in a way.
I'd have to say my favorite part of a job that we've done here this year that I was involved in was designing and fabricating the trunk and the exhaust in the Lincoln Continental. I thought it came out really cool and it pissed off a lot of people, which is kind of fun for me. I mean, who doesn't want an exotic exhaust in the back of a Lincoln Continental? A lot of people had their panties in a bunch because the owner now couldn't go to Home Depot or to Publix, but trust me guys, This is not the vehicle he's going to
You
Home
can't
Depot
fit a
in.
sheet of plywood in the back of that thing.
No, no.
Why is that such a big deal?
That's not what it's for.
All the trucks, like, you can't fit plywood in that anymore.
But yeah, closing it out, making it look really nice and finished in there was probably one of my favorite tasks on our project we've done here. All right, well that was our favorite parts of a build. Now let's talk about what part of a build gave us the biggest headache and definitely more gray hair. So again, we'll start with you, Dave.
All right. I would have to say doing stuff on the Charger. And I
Yeah.
know doing stuff is general, but a lot of the things, the Charger came to us sort of like running, like everything was mounted, like the engine, transmission, drivetrain, suspension. But there was a ton of little things that were just either like not hooked up or hooked up incorrectly, but the whole car had already been wired by somebody else.
Yeah.
And not in a really cohesive manner. In hindsight, maybe we should have like just taken the dash off and ripped everything out, started
Yeah.
from scratch.
That's why we try not to take on half finished projects here.
Yeah,
But-
because they usually end up just redoing everything, and the half project becomes a full project.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like to hear that, but that's kind of how it goes. So, biggest headache, job. The Chevelle's still here. We're still working on that DCT transmission control. So, I'd have to say the transmission controller sucks. It just sucks. And people were saying, oh, don't use that product, don't use that product. And we're like, well, I've seen it work, and there's other examples out there working, so we're not just gonna discredit it and say, no, it's not gonna work. I think they've had failures with those things in different ways than we did. We had a problem with actually having control, period. So we weren't able to get firmware for the ECU to even make any decisions. So that was a task in itself. And now the new task is actually getting it tuned, getting the drivability right, making it function like it did when it was in the original BMW M3 car that it came in. So I'd say that's the most difficult thing because it's still ongoing. Tomorrow I actually have a session with a tuner from Poland to hopefully make some progress with that. Yeah, that one's the gift that keeps on giving.
Hey, on a plus side, Andrew, now you have a pen pal in Poland.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. That's
Well, for me, as the shop owner, what gives me the biggest headache and stress is not actually the vehicles. It's working and running a functioning shop. This is not a YouTube set. This is not a TV set. This is actually a shop. And the majority of these vehicles in here, we're building for customers. Not all customers are headaches, don't get me wrong. I've met and we have a lot of good friends here, customers. And ideally, when a customer brings a vehicle here, they let us, run with it. With that said, let us design, build it to function correctly, and what we think is cool and, in our brand. Once in a while, you get a customer that has their own ideas, and you gotta kind of like, navigate their ideas and make things work correctly and make it still like actually a salvage build and not let them get too crazy. You send out an invoice and you need to get paid so we can continue working on the build. And sometimes a customer, he's out of town, he's not ready to pay a bill, and that job gets put on hold. And it can be on hold for months. I mean, we've had, last year we had a truck that we were building and the customer lost a job and we had to push the thing outside and put a tarp over it and it sat out there for 3 months. So everybody's like, hey, we want updates. And we'd love to give them to you, but sometimes it's just not the reality. All right, well, enough of the headaches and all the negativity. Let's talk about something positive. Dave, what was the highlight of your...
Well, I got to work on my own build for a little bit, and that was doing a big battery upgrade. Also, along with that, in the shop, we got to film for a different YouTube channel, a little interview and overview of the Benz as well, and that turned into a photo shoot and a written article that got into EV Builder's Guide in the winter edition. So
Nice. How about you, Drew?
Oh man, a lot of stuff happened in 12 months. For me, traveling and going to different drift events is always a plus. I definitely got to compete in the LS Fest multiple times, which is always awesome. That's probably my highlight, like being able to go to all these events, meet a lot of the people who watch our videos in person, who go to these motorsports events, shaking hands and meeting people, and
shaking hands and kissing babies.
Yeah, call me the president.
How about you, buddy?
Ooh, this is a tough one. I've been here for only 6 months, but for me, it's good to get back into this kind of environment. Working on a very technical level and creative at the same time is something I've always enjoyed doing. So it's good to just use the 100% of my brain again in that fashion, I feel.
I thought he was gonna say his highlight was joining the team here.
Well, that
Making
too.
some new friends. My highlight, I have a few highlights, one of which hasn't really technically happened yet, but I know it's coming. And that's being the front cover of the CK Truck magazine for January. I'm super stoked about that. Kyle from Boston has a video coming out with our truck. You guys will see that here in a week or so. It's getting the Chevelle running, at least, that was a good moment for me.
All right, so that's enough for 2024. Let's wrap that up and let's try to move on to 2025 and what we got going on in the shop for the future.
Let's not just talk about all this stuff sitting here at the table, man. Let's take a walk around the shop and check it out.
All right, so for 2025, we've already started some builds like this 1957 GMC pickup truck behind us. This truck was sitting in the back of our shop for about 2 years. I was on my way back from Triple Crown of hot rodding with Dave Pavish, the owner of Dimebag, and I happened to mention something about this truck. So he and his brother decided to start another build with us this year. So that was pretty exciting. I don't think there's a better compliment than a repeat customer. So this truck started out as a simple build, but quickly has changed paths. So we're gonna be putting this on a Roadstershop chassis. So this will be on coilovers. So a little different than Dimebag. This one he's gonna be able to probably maybe throw it on a road course if he'd like. We're gonna be throwing a GM Performance LS3 with a upgraded Texas Speed Chop Monster cam. So that's gonna be the engine compartment. We're definitely gonna be doing some custom work in the engine compartment. Nothing too custom in the interior. We're gonna be keeping it pretty simple, but obviously everything upgraded. We do have a nice bed that's gonna be coming for this thing, a little different than any of the ones we've done here before. So we're super excited about this build. As soon as that chassis gets here, we're gonna be throwing this cab on there. We've already done a ton of rust repairs on this thing, a lot more than I even anticipated getting into, but that's how it goes, man. Once you strip the paint off this thing, you kind of see all the years of wear and tear on it. All right, well, that's enough about this one. We don't want to get too detailed because we want you guys to be excited when these episodes come out. So the next one's outside, so let's pop out front and check it out. All right, well, on the way out the door, we might as well stop and say hi to our EV truck. As you guys know, we built this thing in 2021 for SEMA, and it has been sitting in our showroom pretty much ever since. So hopefully this year, 2025, we're gonna get our hands on a whole new EV controller system for this thing, rip out all the old stuff, get some new stuff in it, get this thing out of our showroom, either onto the road or maybe into someone else's collection. Because this thing, all it's doing in here is collecting dust. Now let's get outside and see that Continental. All right, guys, we are outside in the front of our shop where we have our next build that we're gonna be starting. This is a 1964 Lincoln Continental coming straight from Louisiana. This is a drop top, what makes it a little bit different than the last one we did. And I'll tell you, we have a whole different plan for this thing. We're doing a LS swapped, twin turbos. We're gonna have big turbos sticking outside of our fenders here. This thing is gonna be real sweet. Right now it's currently on bags. That's getting changed out. We're gonna be doing coilovers on this thing, giving it a different ride height, a total different stance, and we may be putting some 24s or 26s on this thing. So it's gonna be super exciting. I can't wait to get started. All right, well, that's a wrap on what's coming up for 2025, at least the two that we have here now. We may still have a little room for another one. But until we get our hands on this stuff, we do have to wrap up some projects on the inside. So let's get in there and talk about that. All right, we are back in the shop and we'll stop here at our 1965 Lincoln Continental. This thing is running, but it has yet to hit the road. That is our next step on this thing. We got our drive shaft put in. We had a couple little items to finish up on the brakes and electrical speaking. We got a couple things with that. This thing's gonna be getting off the lift, getting outside and hitting that dyno, and then we'll be wrapping up our interior. So not a whole lot left. just got to get it done. Now let's go take a look at the 1984 LS Swap Benz. All right, our 1984 LS Swap Benz. A couple people have been asking for some updates. Well, last time it was on the channel, we got the thing kind of fired up, but not really running. Well, since then, we did get our two-piece drive shaft installed, which means this thing is about to get off the lift, get outside, and we're gonna get this thing on the dyno. Recently, we did finish up some trim stuff. We got some glass installed, and really the only thing left in this is our full interior, getting our new wheels on this thing, and a couple of last little items like some trim things. But other than that, it's ready to roll. And our final build to finish up for 2024 is sitting outside, so let's go take a look. All right, guys, this is it, the grand finale, the last car we got to finish up for 2024. It has been a long journey to get to this point, and I know what you guys are saying. Why the DCT? I get it, but it's the route we went, and we are real close to getting this thing done. We finally found someone to help us get the transmission tuned, and this thing is almost ready to hit the road. Except for the fact we are going to be doing a full repaint on this car. I know a lot of people weren't crazy about this color. I happen to love it, but the owner isn't digging it anymore, and he wants this thing stripped apart and completely repainted. You guys are gonna have to guess what color it is, because I'm not telling, but it's gonna be classic and it's gonna be rad. So let's get this thing done so we can move on to some fresh new builds. All right, guys, well, that's a wrap on the episode. We took you guys through all the highs and the lows of 24, and we're super stoked to share all of our new builds with you guys in 2025. Thank you guys for all the support this year. Happy New Year. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.